OK Karen by Bay State Brewing. It's an Imperial IPA, 13% alcohol by volume. The beer even says stop. And I'm not sure if that's telling you to stop being a Karen or stop to think before you drink a 13% alcohol by volume beer. But this is probably the perfect beer for what I want to discuss, because there's going to be some pretty strong opinions about the topic that I want to talk about. So let's crack into it, give it a taste, and let's start the conversation. OK Karen. Nice. Let's get it all in there. Spilled a little bit. Strong enough you can waste a little bit. That's good for 13%. 13% usually kicks you on your butt. On the internet, you can find just about anything you want. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But I think it's up to us as individuals to filter out all that negative. Unless, of course, that's what you want. And if you want negative, you can definitely find it on the internet. But for me, I want to consume positive, good vibes, things that push me forward. So I try to limit the things that I take in to be things that are positive, are illuminating, that do push me forward. So what I want to talk about, what I want to discuss, I want to talk about some of the creators that I've seen in the skiing and snowboarding space that I would like to share a beer in one of those meaningful chair rides with. So that's going to be this segment. It's going to be called A Beer in a Chair. And I'm going to highlight creators that I would just like to sit back, have a conversation with, somebody that can be on my same level, someone that can be higher than me, someone that can be lower than me, someone that, and I don't mean lower than me, somebody that could have less viewers than I have, and not saying I have a lot, but just content creators of all scales that I would want to sit down, have a beer with, ride a chair, and just discuss. Someone that can show me something, someone that I can learn from, somebody that I can impart my wisdom to. And the first person, the person that I am going to pick for the first beer and chair segment is Jonathan Buckhouse. And I know there's probably going to be some controversy. That's why I said, OK, Karen, and this is strong. But when I first was introduced to his content, there was something about it that was kind of pure, kind of innocent, but even more so, it was done in a way that his concept of being a pro snowboarder and not being a snowboarder that has gone through that normal track of making video parts, getting filmed, being in the magazines, all those type of things that we consider to be pro in skiing and snowboarding. And he was doing something different. He was making his own way in the skiing and snowboarding worlds. And I like that. Like, what is the definition of pro? He was doing it, he was making money, he was supplementing his income, because when I first saw him, I don't think it was his full time. But if you can take something that you love, a passion, and figure out a way to actually make it work for you, your family, that's something that right there is a noble thing. And if I see somebody who's doing something that I either can respect the hustle, respect the effort, respect the output, or it's something that I would like to do that I know I haven't figured out how to do it as well as they do, I'm gonna give kudos. I'm gonna toast that. And that's what I'm trying to do with the beer and chair segment. And I think the way that Jonathan comes across, it's always been legitimate. It's always been kind. You see him whenever he's on his videos, signing autographs, interacting with the public. And I understand that nobody completely understands another person's inner workings and how they are behind the camera. But all you can really do is judge somebody that's in the public sphere by what they put out in the public sphere. And I see nothing but positive with the way that he's operating. And the fact that you can see the progression, that he's getting better in his craft, he's getting better in his skills, he's getting better as a business person. And that is something that I would love to learn from. And it's not that I need this information or that information. It's just nice to be able to talk to somebody and say, how did you see this when you started? And what made you do this and what made you do that? Because even if it's not skiing and snowboarding or this YouTube channel or the Dirtbag Association, just taking in the way that another person navigates through the world can benefit you in so many different ways. And I know the majority of people who are watching my content right now, they know who Jonathan Buckhouse is. They probably have an opinion and it's probably already been formed. And I know I probably am not going to do much to change that. But I would say, and I would encourage anyone who has looked at his content, take a look at it again and look at it through a different light. Look at it through the light of a person who took a pastime, a hobby, something that we do for fun, and figured out a way to make it enjoyable and profitable. That's the type of thing that whenever we say, if you can make your job fun and a vocation and this and that, and it's your passion and you'll never work a day in your life, we say that. But then when somebody figures out a way to do it, there are a lot of naysayers that want to point a finger. And that's not something that I want to endorse. I want to appreciate effort, skill, and expertise. And that's what I see that he's done. So in my opinion, he's as much, if not more, of a professional snowboarder than many other people. Like, it's the same concept of, I may play basketball and I may see Steph Curry, I may see Shaq, I may see Charles Barkley, I may see all those people in their prime doing what they're doing, but they're not somebody that I'm gonna meet at the rec center. Like, what they do to become a pro, that's something that's nice to watch. It's entertaining. It's not even aspirational, because the majority of us will never be able to play the sport at the level of quote unquote our pros. And it's the same thing with skiing and snowboarding. So do I value the skill that those pros have? Absolutely. Their hustle is impeccable. But do I also value somebody who knows and knew that he didn't have a chance to do it at that level, but figured out a way to make it sustainable? And honestly, the finances being the finances, he's probably doing better than a lot of those people who are quote unquote pros because they got a couple of shots, they got a part in somebody's B-rate movie. And that's not to knock any B-rate movies, because those are great skiing and snowboard movies. But the reality of it is, how many of those people are creating a business, being able to provide for their family, buy a house, do all those things? Like, maybe some of them, but I would probably say not a lot of them. So that shift as to who we're gonna look to as being a professional might might need to be reevaluated. So that's why I want to give a cheers and a toast to Jonathan Buckhouse. I would love to share a beer and ride a chair. And as he always says, keep evolving. I'm Blair, and this is the Dirtbag Association, where our wax is old, our knees are older, but the stoke doesn't melt. See you on the mountain.
I don't ask for too much.